Hi, my name is Lynn Shue, and I'm one of the 5 Cabarrus County Commissioners. Today, I'm here in Midland, North Carolina at the Cabarrus County Midland Branch, and we're going to do another episode of Out and About. And I have 2 guests with me today. The first guest is Jenny. And Jenny, you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is here at the Midland branch of our library system.
Sure. So I am the Community Services Coordinator for the Cabarrus County Public Library System. And so with that role, I do outreach events across the county, so at schools or businesses who are looking to learn more about library services. And I also supervise the Midland branch here. We're staffed with 3 staff members, so it's a small crew, but we're very excited to finally be here.
Well, I know you were looking forward to this, as well as a lot of people, particularly the citizens of Midland, because even though you had a little smaller branch than this before this came about, but how do you think that this was received in Midland?
Oh, the community has been so supportive. The Friends group has been so supportive. We have families come in every day and they're just like, we're so glad that you're here, and you know, they'll take stacks of books home. You know, they're just happy to see us here, happy to have a community hub, and you know, they don't have to drive 30 minutes to a different branch. You know, they can have these free resources available.
Yeah, I know, and it was a long time in making to get this, which is sometimes the case, you know, when you spend a lot of money, like the town of Midland did for the facility, and then of course the county, you know, supports the running of it. What about your programs that you have down here, in particular your summer programs for the kids, and what do you think is probably the most popular?
So we have a lot of presenters coming in to do programs for us. So our theme for summer reading is a universe of stories, and it's space themed. And so we have the Shield Museum coming to do some programs about weather, and we have the zoo coming as well to bring some special guests, and kids might also see some dinosaurs later on in the summer as well.
Well, is that received pretty well? Are you having a lot of people coming in for that? Do they come in to see it, bring their kids and all that?
Yeah, for a lot of the presenters we've had already, this room behind me has been filled. So we get about 30-40 people in there, and that's about all we can take.
Wow. Well, I don't know what the capacity of it is, but that seemed like a pretty good crowd for that.
Yep.
You mentioned that someone from the zoo might be coming. What will they bring when they come?
So it's a surprise, but they bring some creatures with them, and you know, they'll get to touch them and learn about
small animals.
Little small animals. We won't see any hippos or anything like that. But
yeah, we wouldn't want to see that, you know, coming through the door. That's for sure. But well, tell us about, you know, the times and hours that you're here, that someone can come in and to do research.
Sure. So we are open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 10 to 6. We also have a book drop, so patrons can return their materials at any time, and they can also call us if they have any questions, and call any of the other branches too. Well,
that's great, Jenny. Well, let me ask you one question, and then we're going to get Melissa in here and talk with her, and that is there anything, you know, you've been here, I think it opened in what, like the 1st of April, somewhere thereabouts, but is there anything that we didn't think about that we need to make this a better library?
So far, so good. We have a great warm staff. The community supports us. They're putting in suggestions for different programs and the materials they'd like to see on the shelf. We've had such great support from the commissioners and the county as overall. So I'm really pleased with where we're at right now, and I'm just excited to see us grow. Yeah,
well, that's great. You know, like I said earlier, you know, it does take us time sometimes, you know, to get something done, but when we do it, though, we do it right, because the citizens deserve, you know, a facility like this, and maybe as time goes, we'll be able to expand the operating times and all of that. That's something that, you know, we'd look at some point, but for now, you got the bases covered. People have somewhere to come, and you know, it seems to me like it's working out really good.
It sure is.
Yeah. Well, Jenny, I thank you for taking your time this morning to sit with me and talk a little bit about the library. And so we're going to bring Melissa in, who is a member of the Midland Friends of the Library. Folks, we're back here at the Midland Town Library, and I've got Melissa with me this time, and she's a part of the Midland Friends of the Library group. And so, Melissa, if you would give just a real brief synopsis there of your position, your name, and what your credentials are to have you in that role.
Well, I'm an at-large member of the Friends of the Midland Library. I'm also the librarian at Bethel Elementary and have been for the past 14 years, and was a storyteller volunteer there for the 8 years before that, so when they were in the old building. So I've been with Friends of the Library for quite a while. With Friends of the Library, just supporting and advocating. Friends of the Library supports and advocates for the library. We've needed a library. We used to have RIF, Reading is Fundamental, and the reason we got that was because we didn't have a public library. Reading is Fundamental, every kid would get a free book 3 times a year. And Miss Hyler, the librarian before me, she had done RIF for years and years, and it was because we had to drive 30 minutes to get to a library, and our kids had to. They changed the requirements to free and reduced lunch, so we lost RIF then. But anyway, it's nice having a library right down the street that our kids could go to. I think that just publicity of the library, that it being here, that I see, every time I come in here, I see kids that were my kids. I've seen my high school kids,
I bet so.
I've seen my middle school kids. I see my elementary school kids.
Yeah, it's obvious that you've been a strong advocate for children and for reading, and to get this, I'm sure, really means a lot. And how big a group is the Friends of the Midland Library? How big a group is that?
Oh, I don't know how many members there are. We would love to have more members. So if you go to the website, you can do the membership form and sign up. You get a little membership card when you join, and then we use the money, to provide like materials. Like this was one of the little programs that they did a couple weeks ago at Stranger Things. That was really super cool. My daughter and my husband and I came and made these. The gift cards that they're getting for the summer, we provided those gift cards for the summer reading program. Legos, we provided Legos. So things that they need, we will get for them. We have, besides the membership fee, we will have book sale twice a year, once a year, twice a year. We have a great relationship between the library and school because Jenny's come and she's set up a table during our literacy night, and kids could sign up for their library cards then, and it was promoting the library. Emory's done things with us, and something that I'm really, really excited about is North Carolina Kids Digital Library. You can hear audiobooks. My daughter struggled with reading with her fluency.
Oh, okay.
And so the way to increase her fluency was to have an audiobook with the book in her hand, and she would listen to the story read as she was reading, and so it would help her fluency. She loves picture books, she loves nonfiction books, but chapter books and following along is just not her thing. So North Carolina Kids Digital Library is all ebooks and audiobooks that you can listen to, and it even has a font for dyslexic students. So if you have dyslexia, it has a font that you could put it in to read along with.
Well, that's
and
great.
We're going to have that, and it'll be the library card the kids access it through. So I'm excited Cabarrus County's getting it.
Oh, absolutely, because that's state of the art. That's putting us on the map,
It is.
Midland on the map.
Some of the libraries around have it. Charlotte Meck has it, and Gaston has it, and then I've asked Emory, and she said we're looking into it and we're trying to get it done, and it was a technology part of it that was holding back. So she said that they're working on that, so we're going to have it. So I'm super excited for our kids, and well, for adults too. There's an adult version too, but just
that's
the kids
great.
version.
I'm glad to hear that myself. Of course, I do a lot of reading. Obviously, being the county commissioner, sometimes our agendas are 500 and 600 pages, so you can imagine, and that's just that reading. But I'm glad that you have those type things available. And Melissa, I can also tell you that had it not been for the involvement and the continue pushing forward for a library in Midland, it may not have happened. Because the Friends of the Library made a major impact, on getting this project done. And so I'm just glad that I could be a small part of it as well. And is there anything else you want to say before we end this session of Out and About that might help promote the Friends of the Library and let folks know what they could expect if they become a part of it. And you mentioned the card and all that.
Well, we plan all kinds of things. We have meet the candidates every election, and sometimes we're the only one in the county that's doing that, and it'll be at Bethel School.
Right,
and
I've attended those. Yeah, they're good.
They are.
Yeah,
They're great, and you get to hear and you get to talk, and it's not necessarily you guys debating. It's just you telling us about yourself, and then we get to talk to you, and sometimes that's a little better to be able to have a conversation with you than to listen to your prepared speech.
Right.
That is great. We've had Bethel Bengal Book Bash in the past, where we've had a therapy dog, my storytelling club, my storytellers are told, Mr. Pat's karate group right next door, they have been there and have done presentations for us, demonstrations. Let's see, we had shaggers, professional shaggers come out and teach shagging.
Well, that wouldn't be me.
We had the Coleys from the church, and they do mountain music with the banjo and the other instruments.
Well, let me ask you this before we wrap this up, and that is, how do you publicize? Do you have a means of publication to get out to the public the things that the Friends of the Midland Library do?
Well, we have Twitter, we have a Facebook page, and we have a website. And I think the Facebook page is the one that's probably looked at a little more than the others. In my experience, when I'm looking at things, looking at people's Facebook pages or companies' Facebook pages, sometimes they post, I guess maybe it's easier to post those pictures on their walls and to be able to see all of the things that they've done. And there are pictures on our website of some of the things we've done, local authors we've had out.
Well, I'm going to be careful myself to look on the Facebook page and see what all's going on, because I might be able to attend some of those things myself. In addition to all the other things that I'm trying to get done.
Yes,
but,
it's fun, and the programs are fun.
Yeah. Well, Melissa, I want to thank you for taking your time to be a part of this edition of Out and About, and for all that you do for the children and for the town of Midland. And want to thank the viewing audience for taking time to watch this edition of Out and About. And so we'll wrap it up here this morning in Midland, North Carolina, the big metropolitan area of North Carolina. And I'm Lynn Shue, and we'll see you again out and about.
If you have suggestions for topics or location that you would like to see on Out and About, please contact us. Our email address is outandabout@cabarruscounty.us.